Hey everybody. First of all, let me just start with the meat and potatoes of this video. We need a protest this Wednesday at the Russian embassy in Washington, D.C. I'll put the address to that in the description, but we need a protest. Even if we just get 100 people out there, it's important. They have delayed the hearings for Kash Patel until Thursday. They're gonna discuss this again, and I personally think, as bad as all of Donald Trump's cabinet picks are, I personally think that he is either the worst or at least one of the worst. This is a guy who isn't governed by intellect at all. It seems, not to say that I don't think he's intelligent. He's an attorney. And he's managed to grovel his way to the top, but nothing that he says or does, none of his personal or professional initiatives seem to be governed by anything other than sort of a small man, anger-filled complex of revenge and retribution and sort of hero worship of Donald Trump. This is a guy who wrote a children's book about King Donald and how, like, evil Queen Hilariona was trying to take him down, and the hero of the book is named Kash. I mean, like, the dude's mentally ill is what I'm trying to say. This is a person who is like full on in the QAnon cult. And I know everybody knows what QAnon is, but do you really understand the profundity of how fucking insane these people are? First of all, QAnon was started on 4chan, and the whole idea behind QAnon, or part of the whole idea of it, was save the children. It's this whole thing about Democrats are this evil child molestation or exploitation cabal, and Democrats drink child blood with adrenaline in it called adrenochrome, and by drinking the adrenaline blood, it gives people, it's like a youth elixir. And it's like, first of all, that's clearly not true, or we would have given some to Joe Biden, you dumb fuck. But second, you're out of your fucking mind. Okay, these are people that think, first of all, that they're going to save the children. And so the platform they used to start all that is 4chan, which is the most notorious platform in existence for, you guessed it, child pornography. You know, it's like starting a new show on Fox News about combating conservative dishonesty in media. You know, I mean, it's just like it's so counterintuitive and stupid because it's stupid. And again, that's what I'm saying is he's somebody who's not governed by intellect. I don't doubt that he has a decent IQ, but he's mentally and emotionally weak. He's not. He has no discernment. He's not a common sense intelligent person. So in addition to QAnon, in addition to the creepy children's book, this guy has also written a book for big boys. He wrote a big boy book too. I'm sure it's terrible. But in it, he lists an enemies list, and it has 60 people on it. And they are who you might think they are. People that didn't go along with their election denial, and people who prosecuted January 6 people, and, the former vice president, Kamala Harris, and all these other people. He has said that the FBI building, on day one, he would shutter the building and turn it into a deep state museum. And because that's all they talk about. They talk about the deep state all the time. Clearly, there's not a deep state, or you guys wouldn't be alive anymore. I think about 60% of the country wishes there really was a deep state. He also sells a potion that you can take that reverses the COVID vaccine. This is a person that wants to be the head of the FBI, guys, okay? And none of that is more important than the fact that he's a Russian asset. He took $25,000 from a Russian propaganda filmmaker And that's not a lot of money. It's not the money I'm concerned about. But he contributed to, was paid for, and was one of the executive producers of a pro-Russia, pro-Kremlin, anti-FBI documentary. And it's not a one-off. The people that he did this with, the company exists presumably for no other reason than to create Russian propaganda. Everything that this person and this entity has created in their film creation career has been to praise and elevate Russia and Putin and the Kremlin, and to disparage anything that is a perceived enemy of Russia and the Kremlin. And for any of you MAGA cult clowns who might be watching this video, Russia, they're pretty good. I think they're good. Vladimir Putin is a murderous dictator who wants to destroy your country. And I know that you're so fucking stupid that you think he wants to come to your birthday party and go hang out with you at your deer hunting club, but he doesn't. He wants to kill you and topple your democracy. And you don't know that because you're a fucking imbecile, because you've been listening to disinformation from people like Kash Patel and Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Tulsi Gabbard, all of whom are Russian assets. They are Russian assets. Please research it. Don't take my word for it. An asset doesn't necessarily mean that they answer their spy phone every 20 minutes and go, yes, boss, tell me what to do next. They are people who are being influenced and manipulated by Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin. Some of them are smart enough to know they are. Some of them are smart enough to get paid, I'm sure. And some of them are too fucking stupid to even realize that they are. It's hard to know who's who. Whether Mike Johnson knows that he's being manipulated and parroting Russian talking points. I'm pretty sure Tucker Carlson's getting paid. We know for sure Tim Pool was getting paid $100,000 per episode of his podcast by Russians. That's a fact. Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset. Russia said she was. Both political parties said she was. Her former staffers said she was. Kash Patel is a Russian asset, okay? This is somebody influenced by our biggest geopolitical adversary. It's not a fucking joke. So you're going to put someone who's compromised by our biggest enemy into the most important, arguably the most important law enforcement position in the United States of America. They've already began to clear out from the FBI and the DOJ anyone who prosecuted any January 6th case, not just against Trump, anyone in the DOJ or FBI who had anything to do with any prosecution of anyone of January 6th, they're clearing them out. Which is, I mean, honestly, almost the whole FBI and the whole DOJ. It was one of the biggest FBI operations in the history of our country. Almost 1,600 people prosecuted and sentenced. It was a massive operation. They're gutting the FBI and they're gutting the DOJ. Tell me one way that it's good for the United States of America to gut the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Department of Justice while handing over all of our personal and financial information to a ketamine-addicted South African billionaire who is also a Russian asset. Tell me how that helps America. How does that help eggs or gas or mortgages or small businesses? It doesn't. This is the takedown of American democracy. And if you don't realize that, you need to wake the fuck up. And you need to do more than watch shit on social media and sit on your couch. You need to do more than donate. You got to get out there. You got to fucking march. If you can't walk, I understand. Get a wheelchair. If you can't be there, if you just physically can't be there, then do everything you can instead of that. But I am encouraging as many Americans as possible, especially people who live in, around, and near DC this Wednesday. Let's start it at noon and let's go until after dark so that people who get off work at 5 o'clock can still come and join you. If you can come, if people come at noon and stay till 3 and some other people come at 3 and stay till 8, whatever, let's get out in front of the Russian embassy. I'll put the address to it in the description. Let's get out there with signs that say, Kash Patel is a Russian asset. No Russian assets in our government. We don't want to be Russia. Russia is a piece of shit country with 9% inflation and a military economy that doesn't produce or export anything other than chaos. They're not good. It'd be one thing if they were trying to turn us into fucking Denmark. They're not. Russia's a shithole country, and we don't want to be like them. No offense to the people of Russia. I have no beef with the citizenry, but Vladimir Putin is a piece of shit. He's a tiny, little, hateful, fear-filled man, much like Kash Patel. That's probably why they like each other. We need to get out there, and I need your help. I need help, people that have big social media followings to push this out. I need help, people who have organized before, to help make this happen. I need people there with megaphones. I need a few people willing to speak, maybe multiple times throughout the event. I need you to make posters. Kash Patel's a Russian asset. Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset. Elon Musk is a Russian asset. This information is so easy to find from real journalists. You can find it all over the internet, and please do. Please watch it if you're unfamiliar with all these people's connections to Russia. Please watch it and learn it, because it's one of the most important things that's happening right now. And they're not just Russian assets. They're Russian assets in the context of the BRICS nations, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Where have you heard that before, Elon Musk and Peter Thiel? This is the takedown of American democracy, to try to align us with the BRICS nations that don't share or honor our values, and to try and pull us out of NATO and the EU and everything that does. So this Wednesday, Russian embassy, I need people that can put together a press release, that can get that out to the media. I need people, just foot soldiers on social media, willing to take this video and the images that I'm going to make. I need you to take it and drop it in every single Facebook group you can find that has anything to do with DC, with Democratic politics, with any political groups in Northern Virginia or the DC area. I just need general help spreading the word. If we can get 100 people out there with signs and megaphones, and the DC media will pick it up, national media, at least the good ones, will also pick it up. This does make a difference. It makes people talk. It makes people start being hip to this issue of the fact that he's a Russian asset, and this new information about his involvement in this documentary. We need to get this out there. So if you can help me, it'd mean the world to me. I cannot physically be there on Wednesday. I wish I could go to every single protest. I can't. I don't have the time or financial means to show up at every single one. I live 6 hours away. But if you're in DC or near DC, it's very important. This is a good one to be part of. They need to see Americans out in front of the Russian embassy. Nobody's really doing that yet. And Russia is fucking around in our politics, and they need to see us show up there and say, fuck you, stay out of our country. So please get involved if you can. I'll put more info in the caption, and I'm also going to put out some meme-style images with some asks, some calls to actions, some things that you can do to help. Thanks a lot. Let's fight these fucks.